Hello, everybody. Sorry about the weird positioning here. This is the only position I can find that's somewhat comfortable right now. I wanted to get my thoughts down on video. So first of all, this channel hasn't turned out to be anything like I imagined in the beginning, mainly because the pandemic kind of interrupted everything. But besides that, so I had a friend who suggested that I talk about what it's like to have mitochondrial myopathy. And I have a little bit on that, but I wanted to get my thoughts today while I'm in the moment. And please understand, I'm not doing this to make anyone feel bad for me. I don't want people feeling bad for me. I feel bad enough as it is. Um, it's more for information and hopefully to help people kind of understand, uh, at least, if not understand, at least have some information about what I'm going through. And I don't believe by any means what I'm going through is any worse than anything anyone else is going through. So that's not it. I'm just stating what my experience is. And also keep in mind that my mitochondrial myopathy experience could be very different from somebody else's, because that's just the nature of the disease, that it can be very different for different people. I know that my experience has definitely been different than my mother's. But anyway, and if you hear those noises in the background, that's Venus just hopping around and playing. So um, anyway, so this morning I woke up not feeling very good at all. And what I mean is that I didn't have a whole lot of energy, and it was a bit painful. Not horrible painful, but painful enough that I knew something was up. And then when I went to stand up, when I woke up, my legs were very weak, particularly in the upper thigh area. And I almost felt like I couldn't stand up. So what's frustrating about that is yesterday I seemed to feel fine. And then this morning, and I don't know, it is very cold this morning. It's like in the 20s or maybe 30s right now, degrees Fahrenheit, and it is quite cold, so I've considered it could be the cold. But after breakfast, so I have an electric wheelchair, and I took my electric wheelchair to breakfast because I just didn't have the energy to walk. And lately I've been trying to walk without my walker, because I know that as my muscles decrease, I'm never going to get that muscle strength back. So I'm trying to keep as much of my muscle strength as I can. But this morning I just couldn't walk the distance from my room to the dining hall. So I rode my electric wheelchair, and after breakfast, when I got out of my electric wheelchair to come back to my bed, in the time it took, and from my bedroom door to my bed is probably, it's maybe 1, 2, 3 large steps, maybe 4 smaller steps to my bed. And from that amount of walking, I have severe muscle pain right now, in my muscles of my outer. What are you doing? Out of my outer thigh muscle on both sides of my body. And I have this weird pain on both sides of my neck, like going right here and here. It's almost the exact same kind of pain. So I know it's not really from standing or whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know if my body just decided to get weaker overnight, and if that's muscle weakness in my neck as well, or I mean, it could be because it's cold out. It's not cold in my room. It's a comfortable temperature in my room, but I do notice sometimes the weather affects my muscle pain. But what was scary is it was difficult to walk back to my bed, and I usually in the morning, even if I have trouble walking a little bit in the morning, Walking around a little bit kind of resolves that, and I can walk a little better. And no matter what, I can't walk like I used to. But it was kind of scary this morning. My bunny is getting into my Legos. I can hear her. Anyway, I am so distracted this morning. Part of the distraction is I'm in pain, and it's hard to keep focus on one subject. So sorry about the bouncing around. Anyway, I'm particularly frustrated with that. And the last few days I'd actually been doing pretty well. There's nothing really to do but stay isolated right now because of the pandemic. And thankfully I'm staying healthy in that regard, that I just haven't been going out. And I'm finding myself pretty frustrated about what I experienced this morning, and had the terrifying thought, wow, she picked up a whole bag of Legos and just hopped off with it. That's funny. But I had the terrifying thought this morning, what happens if something happens to me overnight and nobody knows what to do with my bunny Venus? That really terrified me. What if I outlived my pet? Actually I think of her more of a companion animal than a pet. But that terrifies me. It terrifies me too, to think about the fact I could outlive her, but what if she outlives me? That's really terrifying. So I think to resolve that, I may call around to some friends and say, hey, I know this is a yucky subject, but, and come up with some kind of plan for somebody to take her if something happens to me. So, what the hardest part about all of this isn't so much the physical struggles, is that I'm doing this alone. I do have plenty of emotional support from my friends and my family, but for the most part, I'm doing this alone. I don't have someone that comes in and helps me. On days that I don't feel good, stuff just doesn't get done. And it's frustrating because, I'm not in a position to be able to go to an assisted living center yet. I don't need it that, but there are some days that I wish I had somebody to call and say, hey, I need some help today. Can you help me feed my bunny? Or can you help me, I don't know, dust the shelves? But it just doesn't, I don't know. It's very hard because I'm kind of in that in-between space where I'm independent enough, but there are some days where even small chores are really hard. And, I'm in quite a bit of pain right now. Even with the pain pills, I can still feel it a bit. And really the only time I'm completely out of pain is when I'm asleep. And you can only sleep so much. So I don't feel like I can fall back asleep right now because I just woke up. But I don't know. See, this is the stuff I have to struggle with. These seem like small things until it's you going through it. And then you're like, well, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? And I can't just not consider these things, because if I don't decide what's going to happen about certain things, nobody's here to do it for me. And I don't have a partner, which is fine. And I don't feel like it would be fair to... I feel like I don't really want to date right now because I don't want to ask a partner to... it would be nice if someone wanted to date and to help me with my daily life, but that just hardly seems like it would wouldn't be fair. I mean, what are they going to get out of it? You know, it's like, it's so I kind of feel like I should be alone. But being alone is very hard, especially during, you know, it's hard enough when pre-pandemic, you know, and during the pandemic, it's, I don't know, it's hard because I can't exactly keep inviting friends. I can't, well, first of all, I can't have friends in the house at all because the house is closed down and we're not allowed to have any guests. And even if I go out and visit someone, we stay socially distanced, and I don't do that very often. It's rare that I get to even do that. So it feels, I feel pretty lonely. Um, it's bearable though. A lot of friends have made it the point to call and keep in touch with me. So, but I guess I'm avoiding getting to a point that I really need to talk about is I'm scared. I'm trying to be brave and keep going on, but this morning when I had trouble standing up, that's a new, I mean, I've had trouble standing up before, but not like this. Not like this. The weakness in my legs starting to get really bad, and it's not going to get any better. The thing about this disease is it's just going to continue to progress, and it's not going to get better. I'm not going to get any healthier than I am now. And in fact, it's just going to progress and get worse. So it's already pretty bad. I can't even describe it. The constant pain that I'm in, even when I can get the pain under control, I can still feel I don't know how to explain it, the stress in my muscles, the tenseness in my muscles. There's nothing you can really do to get them working the way a healthy person's muscles will work. And the other frustrating thing is it's impossible to describe to people to a point where they can truly understand it, because this is one of those things you can't understand unless you're going through it. And I'm lucky enough to know two people that are going through it. You know, my mother and another friend who I met because we have the same disease. So it's really hard to think about what the future is going forward like. I can't even imagine what it's like to even get through the pandemic at this point. You know, I can only think about the next day. You know, today. I can only think about today. I can't even really plan very much for the week. So, I don't know. I'm thoroughly frustrated, um, emotionally, physically, and I can't even touch on what's going on politically or socially right now out in the world because I can't. I'm barely processing my own situation right now. My two saving graces, I will say. Venus is wonderful because when I wake up panicking in the middle of the night, I can cuddle with her and it calms me right down. That's wonderful. How animals do that for us, I don't get it. I don't know. I hope she gets as much benefit from being with me as I do from her being with me. And second, I have friends that care. So I want to say thank you to the friends that care and who are being here for me. So, I guess we'll see how things go going forward. I hope you're doing well. If I haven't heard from you in a while, I'd like to hear from you. Yeah. Love you and hope to talk to you soon. Lady Lioness signing out.